Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my review for the latest of the DC direct-to-video movies. This one is for Batman vs. Robin. Okay, good stuff. So got a chance to watch this DC direct to DVD video, direct to Blu-ray video. This one's release date is April 14th, so it should be hitting soon for people who want to buy it in stores, or people who want to watch it online, or whatever you want to do. You can watch it now. It's been released online for the most part. So I've been reviewing these now for about, I want to say 3 to 4 years, somewhere around that range of the DC direct to Blu-ray, direct to DVD videos, and a lot of them have been really amazing. We've had some really great stuff from them. We've had Justice on Two Earths, which was awesome. Batman, the Red Hood, amazing. The Dark Knight Returns, Part 1 and Part 2. Some of the best stuff. Those two and Red Hood are probably my favorites. And we've had lots of others too. The Justice League and the most recent, War and all that. There was the Aquaman, Throne of Atlantis, and most recently, prior to this one, we had the most recent Batman movie, which is kind of like a predecessor to this one, is Batman's Son, or where he pretty much finds out he has a son, and we get to meet Damian Wayne. You've got Ra's al Ghul in there, or Ra's al Ghul, depending on however you want to pronounce it. I don't know if one is correct and one's wrong. It depends which medium you're looking at. Movies, Ra's, the comic books usually Ra's. Also in that we had Deathstroke. He had a heavy concentration in that, and that one was pretty good, to be honest with you. This one is kind of like a continuation of that, where we see basically Damian living with Bruce, living with Batman, and we have the Court of Owls storyline from the recent, I believe it was around the New 52 time, one of the New 52 stories where we had the Court of Owls with Batman. Greg Capullo was doing the artwork on that. It was pretty big, one of the bigger selling comic books at the time that it was released. So this is an adaptation from that. I have not read the Court of Owls. I've heard about it. I've heard it's really, really good, and I've seen some of the artwork in pictures online and stuff for the Batman, the Thrasher armor and stuff like that. Pretty cool. Now, so seeing this for the first time versus the comic books, I can't compare, but after watching it in the direct-to-video format, and seeing Batman, Son of Batman and all that prior, this one didn't actually impress me as much as I thought it would. Usually I enjoy these. It's a couple hours long, and it is, it's pretty. The story is pretty dense for this one a little bit, because we find out about the Court of Owls, which is basically like a secret society in Gotham that has been kind of pulling a lot of strings and is kind of re-rising to power, even though they've kind of always been there for a very long time, and they're ready to make some pretty big moves in Gotham. So of course, since Bruce is one of your most prominent people in Gotham, they look to recruit him, not knowing that he's Batman at first. You have Damian, who's kind of mixed in there, and you have their kind of enforcer, whose name is Talon, who they're Court of Owls, so he's got this kind of owl type costume. He's pretty cool looking, and he is a good villain, I would say. I do like him as a villain quite a bit. So one of the things I like most about this is they kind of relate it back to Bruce's parents' murder in Court of Owls, and they kind of make it seem like it was sort of a secret society organized type of attack against Bruce's parents to kill them, assassination basically, and not just kind of a random incident, which I really like that quite a bit. I'm pretty sure that's the same in the comic books, although I'm not 100%. So that I did like a lot. I did like the Court of Owls. I did like their kind of secret society type thing. It's pretty cool because it makes you think of, if you're into any conspiracy theories and stuff, Illuminati and secret societies, and how they may have basically taken over the world and nobody really would know about it, or taken over a lot of the prominent governments and financial institutions and everything. So you get this kind of Gotham type Court of Owls secret society, which is pretty interesting, and I did like it. I did like their group a lot, like Talon a lot. Damian in this, he's a teenager, of course, or really young, maybe not even quite, and he's full of angst. He's just constantly arguing with Bruce. He's constantly fighting and just sneaking out when Bruce tells him not to, and he's being a rambunctious little punk. And Bruce can't even though he keeps telling him to stay home and tell him to do this, tell him to do that, he's not doing any of it. He's just kind of going off and doing his own thing. And you know, we saw a little bit of that in Batman Son prior. In this, since it's like a continuation of that, it just kind of gets even worse. So I don't want to give away too many more things about the plot than that. That's pretty much all you need to know going in, or what you you know, will learn from the movie. You know, you get the great action scenes and fights and all that, and that's all good. So in terms of what I thought about the movie as a whole, now that we've gone over the plot, one other thing I should mention is the artwork in this. They've gone the last couple of years with the DC movies. They've opted to go for this kind of bland artwork where they're not putting in too much detail. It's a lot like anime when they're fighting and stuff. Sometimes you'll have clips where it'll show them in one pose and then in another and then another, like, you know, like that, rather than, you know, a full-on animation. And it's kind of like a stylized choice, which feels a lot like anime, but it's not as good as most anime from Japan. If you watch a lot of their, you know, their for sale Blu-ray or DVD type release movies, much better quality than this. And it just, I don't like the art style. I like the art style better in Red Hood and pretty much all of that kind of older cartoon style that they were using prior. The stuff they've been using recently, and the same with Justice League War, it looks really bland. You know, there's not a lot of lines, there's not a lot of detail in the characters and stuff. You know, they're very simplified. It's like they oversimplify it, and it takes away from it a lot, I think. So that's something that did affect me with this one. So overall, I thought it was decent. It was a decent release. You know, I'm not as excited for these as I was a few years ago due to the changes in the art style. And to be honest, the last few haven't been that good. The last one I can think of that was great, aside from Batman Dark Knight Returns Part 2, aside from that, Flashpoint was amazing. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing them do a Blackest Night, because that's one of my favorite crossover events. I really like that a lot for when it was released in DC with Green Lantern and that. So hopefully they'll do that eventually, and we'll see what else they're gonna have afterwards. But or, you know, after this one, what they're gonna do going forward. But yeah, I just didn't feel this one as much as I should have. I'm not sure exactly what it was. If it was the artwork, or if it was because we've gotten a lot of releases and they're starting to become more kind of commonplace, and it didn't wow me. It was decent, but it didn't engross me in the experience entirely. And it kind of, the story, you know, it seemed like it didn't play out, especially at the end with Court of Owls. You know, it felt rushed, and it didn't feel as you know, as good as it should have probably, and maybe even the comic book series version with this, I may recommend actually that. You know, granted, I haven't read, like I said, but I'm imagining it's probably better than this. This just didn't turn out that great to me. So in terms of a score, I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10, with 6.5 being average. So, you know, it's kind of in your decent to good range. It's not fantastic, it's not terrible, but it's not one of the best we've had of the DC direct to DVD or Blu-ray releases. And you know, I don't know about these. I don't know if I'm going to continue to review these, if it's worth it. You know, if they release some good ones, then I'll watch them. But you know, after the last few, War and Throne of Atlantis and this one, and even Batman and Son wasn't that great either. It was probably better than this, I want to say. So just, you know, a little lackluster, a little disappointed with the actual release. Thought it was going to be a bit better than it was. And I think probably the art style and the rush story are probably why I felt like it wasn't quite as good. Because usually I view these as like 8 or 9 out of 10 type range, and this one was only 7 for me. So that's what I thought about it. You know, let me know what you guys thought. If you got a chance to check it out, or if you want to check it out, write your comments below. Let me know what you think about the DC direct to DVD and Blu-ray releases. I'm surprised they're even still doing them. I hope they continue, but I hope they kind of mix it up a bit and they change the art style and they make it a little bit more detailed, because I feel it's just far too bland and it should be a lot better than what it actually is coming out at with, you know, current day technology and everything. Should look better than our, you know, 2010, 2011, 2012 releases. We're talking years later now. So let me know what you guys think about all that, and yeah, write your comments below. If you liked this video, please thumb it up below. If you want to help support the channel, please share it, please favorite it below. And if you're new and you want to see more of these reviews in the future, I'll probably continue. So go ahead and subscribe at the bottom left if you want to see more. And yeah, that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you for the next video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace.